The Galactic Council discovered Earth in the early spring of 2103. Their massive observation vessels hovered silently beyond Jupiter, studying humanity for 3 months. They watched our television broadcasts, monitored our internet, and analyzed our military capabilities. The Council was both impressed and concerned by how quickly humans had advanced from primitive flight to interplanetary travel. On a quiet Tuesday morning, the Council's diplomatic fleet entered Earth's orbit. 12 crystalline ships, each larger than Manhattan, positioned themselves in a perfect circle around the planet. The sight paralyzed global communications as billions of humans stared skyward or at screens showing the vessels. "We come representing the Galactic Council of Allied Species," announced a melodious voice in perfect English across all broadcast frequencies. "We wish to establish peaceful relations with your world." Within hours, the United Nations assembled an emergency session. Security Council members argued about whether to respond with military caution or diplomatic openness. In the end, pragmatism won. Earth's combined forces were clearly outmatched by even one of the alien ships. The first meeting took place at a hastily constructed neutral site in international waters. 6 Council representatives arrived in a shuttle that descended with impossible grace. They emerged wearing translucent environmental suits, their bodies vaguely humanoid, but with elongated limbs and skin that shifted colors with their movements. "I am High Chancellor Vexnor," said the tallest alien, its skin pulsing with blue and gold patterns. "We have observed your civilization and determined it ready for integration into the greater galactic community." President Alina Jackson led the human delegation with as much dignity as the overwhelming situation allowed. "Earth welcomes peaceful contact with other intelligent life. We have much to learn from each other." Vexenor's skin darkened slightly. "Indeed, the Council has protected developing worlds for 50,000 years through our tribute system." Admiral Peter Young leaned toward the president. "I don't like where this is going," he whispered. The alien continued. "All protected species provide regular tributes of resources and service in exchange for Council protection and technology access. Your world has valuable minerals and biological compounds our members require." Dr. Susan Clark, Earth's leading xenobiologist, asked, "And what do we receive in this exchange?" A smaller alien with green-tinted skin stepped forward. "I am Economic Minister Trill. Earth will receive protection from hostile forces beyond your knowledge, limited technology transfers, and eventually, representation in the Council after your first century of compliance." Young couldn't contain himself. "This sounds like extortion, not alliance." Vexenor's skin flashed red briefly. "This is the natural order. All 97 member species began as tribute worlds. This is not negotiable." Over the next 3 days, the aliens outlined their demands: 30% of Earth's rare metal production, 25% of biological pharmaceutical compounds, and 10,000 human service personnel annually to work on Council worlds. "This would cripple our economy," said Finance Secretary Richard Kennedy after reviewing the terms. On the final day of negotiations, Vexnor presented an ornate document. "Your world has 30 Earth days to prepare your first tribute payment and formal acceptance. We will return for your answer." As the alien delegation departed, Admiral Young approached President Jackson. "Madam President, we need to call in every scientific and military mind on the planet. There has to be another option." The president watched the alien shuttle ascend toward the crystalline ships. "They've given us 30 days. Let's use them wisely." When the alien fleet disappeared beyond the moon, emergency meetings began in every major government. No one spoke the obvious aloud until Admiral Young finally said it in the Pentagon's most secure room. "They expect compliance, but they've never met humans before." 30 days, President Jackson repeated to her cabinet. 30 days to decide the future of our species. Earth's leaders gathered in Geneva for an emergency summit unlike any in human history. Representatives from every nation crammed into the United Nations main chamber, with screens showing military generals, scientists, and economic advisors joining remotely from secure locations worldwide. President Jackson opened the session with grim words. "We have 27 days left to respond to the Council's demands. I need options, not complaints." Admiral Kate Hudson, commander of Earth's United Space Fleet, stepped forward. Though only 52, her presence commanded respect from everyone in the room. "Madam President, I've analyzed their ships with every instrument we have. They're powerful, but not invincible. Their shield technology pulses at regular intervals. There's a millisecond vulnerability every 14 seconds. Even with that knowledge, we're outgunned," said General Carlos Mendez. "Their smallest vessel could likely destroy our combined fleet." Dr. Vijay Patel, who had been silently studying data on his tablet, looked up. "Perhaps not. Their technology is advanced but follows predictable patterns. My team has been reverse engineering the communication burst from their ships. We believe we can disrupt their targeting systems." Economist Paul Martinez presented devastating projections of what accepting the tribute demands would mean. The required mineral extractions alone would collapse 16 national economies. The human labor demand would create a permanent underclass of what amounts to slaves. This is not sustainable even if we wanted to comply. As the discussion continued, smaller nations voiced concerns about being sacrificed to protect larger powers. African representatives pointed out that their rare earth minerals would likely bear the brunt of the tribute demands. "We will stand united or fall divided," said President Jackson. "Every nation, every person has equal stake in this response." While the public debate continued, Project Defiance began in secret facilities around the world. Scientists worked around the clock to adapt Earth's weapons to target the aliens' weaknesses. Engineers repurposed communication satellites into a defensive grid. Factory workers converted production lines to build components for shield generators based on fragments of data gathered from scanning the Council ships. Admiral Hudson coordinated from a bunker beneath Wyoming's mountains. "We need more time," she told the president during a secure call. "If they come back in 30 days, we're still at 50% readiness at best." "We may not get more time," Jackson replied. "We need to decide on our official response." The Strategic Committee narrowed the options to 3. Comply temporarily while building defenses, request negotiation for better terms, or outright refusal. "Compliance buys time but surrenders principle," said Secretary Kennedy. "Once we start paying tribute, breaking free becomes harder." "Negotiation assumes they're willing to compromise," Admiral Hudson countered. "Everything we've seen suggests they aren't." Defense Secretary William Roberts spoke up. "Every conquered species in their council probably tried compliance or negotiation. Maybe what they don't expect is direct refusal." In Moscow, Chinese labs, and Silicon Valley, scientists created emergency innovations that would normally take decades. In orbit, astronauts secretly modified the International Space Station into a command center. With 8 days remaining, Ambassador Frank Wilson was selected to deliver Earth's response. A veteran diplomat with a reputation for unshakable calm, Wilson spent days practicing with a team of psychologists analyzing the aliens' communication patterns. "Remember," Dr. Linda Benton told him, "their color changes indicate emotional states. If you see rapid red pulses, they're experiencing anger or shock. That's when they'll be most vulnerable to suggestion." The night before the Council's return, President Jackson addressed a nervous planet. Without revealing their military preparations, she assured humanity that their response would preserve human dignity. "Tomorrow, we take our place among the stars on our terms," she said, "not theirs." As the alien fleet reappeared in Earth's orbit, Ambassador Wilson boarded a shuttle with a small delegation and a sealed envelope containing humanity's one-word answer. The Council's flagship opened its docking bay to receive the human delegation. Ambassador Frank Wilson led his small team of 5 through the crystalline corridor. The walls pulsed with blue light that seemed almost alive. Dr. Alan Pearson, Earth's leading physicist, discreetly scanned everything with a device hidden in his watch. High Chancellor Vexnor waited in a circular chamber surrounded by representatives from a dozen alien species. Some floated in bubbling tanks, others stood on multiple legs, and a few looked almost human except for their unusual skin colors and elongated features. "Welcome, humans," Vexnor said, his skin rippling with confident gold patterns. "We trust you have prepared your initial tribute payment and acceptance documents." Wilson stepped forward, his face revealing nothing. Years of high-stakes negotiations had prepared him for this moment, though never with such consequences. "High Chancellor, thank you for receiving us. Earth has carefully considered your proposal." The ambassador held up a simple white envelope sealed with red wax bearing the United Nations emblem. The formal touch had been President Jackson's idea, a reminder that humanity had its own protocols and dignity. "Our unified response is contained here," Wilson said. Vexnor extended a four-fingered hand. His skin showed patches of curious purple, an emotion the humans hadn't observed before. "You have brought only this document. Where are the tribute materials?" "The document explains everything," Wilson replied calmly. The council members exchanged glances. A short, stocky alien with rocky skin rumbled something that the translation devices rendered as, "Primitive species often need guidance on proper tribute presentation." Wilson handed the envelope to Vexnor, who broke the seal with one slender finger. He removed a single card of heavy paper. On it, written in elegant calligraphy in both English and the Council's common language, was a single word: "No." For 17 seconds, Wilson counted them. Absolute silence filled the chamber. Vexnor's skin rapidly cycled through colors, gold to purple to deep red. The other council members showed their own signs of shock. Bubbling tanks frothed with activity, tentacles writhed, and multiple eyes blinked rapidly. "I don't understand," Vexnor finally said, his voice losing its melodious quality. "This is not possible." Wilson maintained perfect composure. "Our response is clear, High Chancellor. Earth declines to participate in your tribute system." "This has never happened," stammered a willowy alien with translucent skin. "In 12,000 years, no species has refused." "Perhaps you misunderstand," said another council member, moving forward on 6 insectoid legs. "The tribute is not optional. It is the foundation of galactic stability." "We understand perfectly," Wilson replied. "Earth chooses a different path." Vexnor's skin now pulsed angry red. "Without council protection, you expose yourselves to dangers beyond your comprehension." Dr. Pearson whispered to Wilson, "Their heart rates are elevated. They're genuinely shocked." Wilson nodded slightly and addressed the council again. "Humanity has survived and thrived by making our own choices. We would welcome friendship with the Galactic Council, but not servitude. This is unprecedented." Vexnor's voice rose. "You cannot simply refuse." "We just did," Wilson said calmly. "Humanity stands ready to establish diplomatic relations based on mutual respect and equal exchange. If that interests the Council, we would be pleased to continue discussions." The rocky alien stepped forward. "We should seize their delegation and blockade their world immediately. They will learn respect." Wilson smiled thinly. "That would be unwise. Earth has prepared for various responses to our decision, including hostile ones. Primitive weapons cannot harm our ships," Vexnor said dismissively, though his skin showed flickers of doubt. "We invite you to respect our decision peacefully," Wilson replied. "We now request permission to return to our planet." As the human delegation departed, they left behind the council in disarray. Arguments broke out among the aliens, some advocating immediate punishment, others suggesting caution. From the shuttle window, Wilson watched the flagship as they pulled away. "Phase 1 complete," he said quietly into his secure communicator. "They're exactly as surprised as we hoped. Prepare for Phase 2. The Council ships moved into attack formation just hours after Ambassador Wilson's shuttle returned to Earth. 7 massive vessels positioned themselves over major cities, while smaller craft established a blockade in low orbit. Their message was broadcast globally. Submit to tribute requirements within 6 hours or face preliminary disciplinary action. In the hidden command center beneath the Rocky Mountains, Admiral Kate Hudson watched the alien deployments with grim satisfaction. They're following standard intimidation tactics, just as the defectors described. She told President Jackson via secure hologram. They always target population centers first. Are we ready? The president asked. Hudson nodded. Defense grid activated. Commander Lisa Rise is in position with our orbital response force. Above Earth, Commander Rise sat in the modified International Space Station, now designated Combat Station Alpha. The station had been retrofitted with experimental shield technology and weapons based on the intelligence gathered during the 30-day preparation period. Status report. Rise ordered as the alien deadline approached. Shield generators at 98% capacity, reported Lieutenant Greg Daniels. Pulse disruptors charged and aligned with enemy shield frequencies. Remember, Rise told her crew of 50 specialists. They think we're defenseless. Surprise is our only advantage. When the 6-hour deadline expired, the Council flagship fired a concentrated energy beam at the Atlantic Ocean, creating a tsunami that threatened the eastern seaboard. Before the wave could reach land, it mysteriously dissipated against an invisible barrier. In the Council flagship, High Chancellor Vex Nor stared at the readings in disbelief. How did they stop it? His weapons officer, a reptilian being named Skarn, looked equally confused. Unknown, Chancellor. Detecting energy fields around the planet that weren't there before. Vexenor's skin darkened with anger. Impossible. Their technology is primitive. On Earth, Hudson gave the command. Execute Operation First Strike. 300 satellites that the Council had dismissed as communication devices simultaneously activated, firing concentrated electromagnetic pulses at the alien vessels. The pulses were timed precisely to hit when the Council ship's shields cycled through their millisecond vulnerability. 2 smaller alien craft lost power and began drifting. The larger ships maintained stability but showed signs of systems disruption. Offensive units engage, Hudson ordered. From hidden bases on the moon, 20 small Earth fighters launched. These craft, built in secret during the preparation period, were piloted by Earth's best and equipped with weapons designed specifically to exploit the Council ship's weaknesses. Commander Rice led the assault personally, her fighter streaking toward the flagship. Target their propulsion systems on my mark. She instructed her squadron. 3, 2, 1, mark. Concentrated particle beams struck the flagship at precisely 14-second intervals, bypassing shields and damaging critical systems. In orbit above North America, the battle intensified. Earth forces suffered losses as 3 fighters were destroyed by the Council's superior weapons, but the humans' unexpected resistance and knowledge of alien weaknesses kept the exchange surprisingly even. How did they discover our shield cycling? Demanded a Council technician as another system's warning flashed. Unknown, replied Skarn, but they're using our own technology against us, modified but clearly based on Council designs. On the planet below, billions watched the space battle through telescopes and on screens showing feeds from orbital cameras. The sight of human ships challenging the alien vessels sent a surge of hope through a population that had prepared for possible extinction. After 40 minutes of combat, the Council ships began to retreat to a higher orbit. They had lost 3 vessels and sustained damage to several others, while the human forces had lost 7 fighters, but maintained their defensive grid. They're regrouping, Rise reported to Admiral Hudson. I don't think they expected to lose a single ship. Hudson nodded. We've made our point, but this is just the beginning. Order our forces to hold position but maintain combat readiness. In the Council flagship, Vex Nor called an emergency meeting with his commanders. How were they able to resist? He demanded. Their technology was surveyed at barely interplanetary level. An intelligence officer stepped forward hesitantly. Chancellor, we're detecting communications between the humans and several non-Council worlds. It appears they've received outside assistance. Vexner's skin turned an alarming shade of dark purple. Find out who helped them. This defiance cannot spread to other tribute worlds. News of humanity's defiance spread across the galaxy faster than the Council could contain it. On tribute worlds throughout 3 spiral arms, beings gathered around communication devices to hear about the small blue planet that had said no to the mighty Council and survived their first attack. On Velar Prime, a planet that had paid tribute for 8 centuries, protesters filled the streets with signs showing Earth's outline and the word no in multiple languages. Council enforcers struggled to disperse the crowds. "This is unprecedented," said Council diplomat Zarketh during an emergency meeting on the neutral world of Benari. His feathered crest lay flat against his head, a sign of extreme distress. If Earth's resistance inspires others, the entire tribute system could collapse. The High Council had assembled its full membership for the first time in 300 years. Species that normally communicated through representatives were now sending their actual leaders. "We must crush this rebellion immediately and completely," insisted Draktor, a massive being whose silicon-based body required a gravity stabilizer to attend the meeting. "Make an example of Earth that will silence any thoughts of rebellion elsewhere." Others counseled caution. Zarketh raised his voice over the arguing delegates. "The humans knew our weaknesses. Our shield cycling, our command structures, even our standard battle formations. Someone has been sharing classified information." Silence fell over the assembly. The implications were serious. Either Council security had been breached, or member species were actively helping Earth. "Who would dare?" demanded High Chancellor Vexnor. A small figure stepped forward from the shadows. Mira belonged to the Palexi race, one of the smallest member species both in physical size and population. "Chancellor, perhaps we should consider that the tribute system has outlived its purpose." Gasps echoed through the chamber. "The system has maintained peace for 50,000 years." Vexnor responded, his skin pulsing dangerous red patterns. "Has it?" Mira asked. "Or has it maintained the luxury of the founding races, while newer members bear increasing burdens?" On Earth, Admiral Hudson received an encrypted transmission from an unknown source. After security verified it wasn't a trap, she played the message for President Jackson and her War Council. A hologram appeared showing a reptilian being with iridescent scales. "I am Ambassador Krell of the Draconis Federation. We have observed your resistance to the Council with great interest. Our worlds have paid tribute for 3,000 years, but we have secretly built our strength. We offer alliance against our common oppressor." Similar messages arrived from 4 other species, all offering help or intelligence to Earth. "This changes everything," said Defense Secretary Roberts. "We're not alone in this fight." President Jackson looked thoughtful. "The Council isn't just facing Earth. They're facing the possibility of a galactic rebellion." Back in Council space, Vexnor ordered a communications blackout on all tribute worlds to prevent news of Earth's continuing resistance from spreading. It was too late. Underground networks passed information from planet to planet, system to system. On the tribute world Azuria, local officials accidentally left defense systems powered down when Council enforcers arrived to suppress demonstrations. The enforcers were captured by the population. 3 other worlds formally suspended tribute payments, citing administrative reviews that would conveniently take years to complete. "We're losing control," Zarketh warned Vexnor in private. For the first time in recorded history, a majority of Council members are questioning the fundamental structure of our alliance. The Chancellor's skin showed complex patterns of indecision. "Then we must make Earth an example so severe that no one will dare follow their path." "Or," suggested Zarketh, "we could negotiate with them. Perhaps a new model of interspecies cooperation. Negotiate with tribute worlds." Vexnor interrupted. "Impossible. Ready the dominance fleet. We will end this quickly." As the Council prepared its elite warships, secret messages continued to flow between Earth and its new allies. Technical specifications, tactical information, and promises of support arrived daily. In her command center, Admiral Hudson smiled at the latest transmission. The Council has never faced a united opposition, she told her officers. They don't understand what they've started. On 7 formerly loyal tribute worlds, revolution had already begun. The Dominance fleet emerged from hyperspace near Mars, a terrifying armada of 30 warships that dwarfed the vessels from the Council's first attack. Each ship bristled with weapons designed to subjugate entire worlds. Their black hulls absorbed light rather than reflected it, making them seem like moving voids against the stars. Biggest fleet they've sent against any world in 5,000 years, reported Lieutenant Daniels, his voice steady despite the implications. Our Draconis allies confirm these are their elite forces. Major Ryan Garcia nodded, studying the tactical display in Earth's expanded lunar base. In the 6 weeks since the initial conflict, humanity had transformed their defensive capabilities with help from their new allies. The question was whether it would be enough. Are the shield harmonizers ready? He asked Dr. Olivia Bennett, who had barely slept in days. She nodded, brushing back strands of gray-streaked hair. Tested and deployed. If they work as designed, we can match their shield frequency in real time. She didn't mention the 27 failed tests before they'd achieved success. Garcia opened a channel to all Earth forces. This is it, people. The Council is throwing everything they have at us. They expect us to break. Show them what humans do under pressure. The Dominance Fleet's commander, War Master Krelvor, addressed his captains before the attack. This primitive world has been allowed to defy the Council for too long. Today we end their rebellion and remind the galaxy of the natural order. His second-in-command, a veteran of 100 planetary subjugations, looked uneasy. War Master, our intelligence suggests they've been reinforced with advanced technology. Tribute worlds cannot stand against the Dominance fleet, Krelvor replied dismissively. Begin the attack pattern. 20 massive ships moved toward Earth while 10 held position as reserve. Their first volley of energy weapons could have leveled continents, but instead met a shimmering barrier that absorbed and redirected the energy harmlessly into space. On the lunar base, Dr. Bennett pumped her fist. Shield harmonizers functioning at 94% efficiency. Major Garcia didn't celebrate yet. Launch our counteroffensive. All squadrons execute Plan Typhoon. From hidden bases on Mars, Earth's asteroid belt, and even concealed beneath the lunar surface, hundreds of fighters emerge. Unlike the first battle, these were not desperate measures, but carefully designed craft incorporating technology from all 7 allied species. Commander Lisa Rice led the first wave in her advanced stellar dart. Remember your training, she told her pilots. Hit and fade. Don't give them clean targets. The human fighters swarmed around the massive Council ships, targeting specific systems with weapons calibrated to penetrate their defenses. For every fighter lost, a Council ship suffered critical damage to engines, weapons, or shield generators. War Master Krelvor watched in growing horror as his perfect formation disintegrated into individual battles. This is impossible. They're coordinating like a Council race. On a secure channel, Garcia received a transmission from one of Earth's secret allies. The Telsonian fleet has engaged Council forces in the Proxima system, reported an alien voice. Their reinforcements will not arrive. Similar reports came in from across the galaxy. The tribute worlds had timed their full rebellion to coincide with Earth's major battle. In orbit around Mars, 3 Council ships suddenly found themselves under attack from behind. A small fleet of ships with unfamiliar configurations had emerged from hiding on Martian moons. The Draconis Federation stands with Earth, announced their commander over an open channel. As the battle reached its peak, Dr. Bennett completed the final adjustments to her revolutionary shield technology. Major, Excalibur is ready. Garcia gave the order that humanity had prepared for since they first said no to the Council. Activate Excalibur. Across Earth's solar system, hidden emitters powered up, creating an energy field that selectively disrupted Council technology while leaving Earth and allied systems intact. Council ships suddenly found their weapons inert, their engines struggling. War Master Krelvor stared at his failing systems in disbelief. "Full retreat," he ordered, his voice hollow. "Return to Council space immediately." As the surviving Council ships fled, cheers erupted across Earth's forces and on 7 rebellious worlds throughout the galaxy. The impossible had happened. The mighty Dominance fleet had been defeated. Major Garcia allowed himself a small smile as he opened a channel to Earth. "Madam President, please inform Ambassador Wilson that the Council might be ready for those negotiations now." The peace talks began on Luna Base, Earth's territorial choice, sending a clear message. Humanity was negotiating from a position of strength, not submission. The great dome of the conference center offered a striking view of both Earth and the starry expanse beyond. Ambassador Frank Wilson entered with the same calm dignity he had shown when delivering Earth's single-word refusal. Now he represented not just humanity, but an alliance of 8 formerly subjugated species who had chosen to stand with Earth. High Chancellor Vexnor arrived with a smaller entourage than before. His skin displayed subdued patterns of blue and gray, colors the humans had learned indicated caution and respect. The Council delegation no longer towered over the humans with superior confidence. "Welcome to Luna," Wilson said simply. "We appreciate your willingness to discuss a new relationship between Earth and the Galactic Council." Vexnor inclined his head slightly. "Recent events have suggested that traditional approaches may require reconsideration." President Jackson joined the Earth delegation, a calculated decision to show the importance they placed on these talks. "Chancellor, we hope today marks the beginning of genuine cooperation between our peoples." For 3 days, negotiations proceeded through difficult terrain. The Council representatives initially proposed a modified tribute system with reduced payments. Wilson politely but firmly redirected the conversation each time toward a framework of equal exchange. "We understand the Council's traditional structure," he explained. "But Earth proposes a new model: mutual defense, fair trade, and technology exchange without subjugation." By the second day, 7 more species had declared independence from the tribute system. Council space was fracturing faster than anyone had predicted. Diplomat Zarketh, who had advocated for negotiation from the beginning, finally spoke directly to Vexnor during a break. "Chancellor, we cannot fight wars on 20 fronts. The old system is collapsing. We must adapt or lose everything." On the final day, Vexnor entered with different colors rippling across his skin, gold and green, which humans now recognized as indicators of acceptance and new growth. "The Council has existed for 50,000 years, he began. "In that time, we have rarely changed our fundamental approach to galactic governance. Perhaps this has been our failure." A murmur ran through both delegations. "Earth has shown us that force is not the only path to unity," Vexnor continued. "Therefore, I am authorized to propose the Galactic Compact, a new alliance structure based on mutual benefit rather than tribute." Wilson exchanged glances with President Jackson before responding. "We would be interested in hearing the details of such a compact." The treaty that emerged over the next 24 hours transformed galactic politics. The tribute system would be phased out over 5 years. Former tribute worlds would gain representation equal to founding council species. Technology would be shared based on each world's ability to use it responsibly. When Wilson and Vexnor signed the Treaty of Terra, applause erupted not just in the conference center, but across Earth, and on 15 former tribute worlds where the ceremony was broadcast. "A simple word changed the galaxy," Vexnor remarked as they completed the signing. "I admit, we had never considered that no could be so powerful." Wilson smiled. "Humans have a long history of resistance to what we consider unjust. It's fundamental to who we are." Within a year, Earth became the headquarters for the new Galactic Compact. The planet's central location and neutral status among the older powers made it an ideal diplomatic hub. Alien visitors became common in major cities, and humanity's rapid adaptation to galactic society surprised even their allies. 5 years after Ambassador Wilson delivered humanity's one-word response, he stood on the observation deck of Harmony Station. Earth's new orbital diplomatic center. Below, the blue planet continued its peaceful rotation. Above and around, ships from 30 species moved through space, trading, exploring, and cooperating. Admiral Hudson joined him at the viewport. Did you imagine this outcome when you delivered that envelope? Wilson watched a council ship dock peacefully alongside vessels from former tribute worlds. Not exactly this, but I knew humanity wouldn't accept subjugation. One word, Hudson mused. The right word, Wilson corrected, and the courage to say it when the galaxy expected compliance. As night fell over the diplomatic quarter, lights from 100 alien embassies illuminated the landscape, a constellation of cooperation that had begun with humanity's simple refusal to bow.